Tomorrow morning, imagine waking up and never feeling hungry again. No breakfast, no lunch, and no desperate midnight refrigerator raid. Your body creates perfect energy without swallowing a single calorie. You would save years once spent shopping, cooking, and chewing. It sounds like freedom until civilization loses its oldest ritual. This thought experiment requires one truly impossible biological upgrade. Your cells automatically manufacture energy, vitamins, protein, and essential minerals. You still breathe, drink water, and age completely normally. But starvation becomes biologically impossible for every single human alive. The first shocking change would arrive inside your own schedule. Most people spend hundreds of hours every year managing food. Now every daily meal becomes optional instead of necessary. Morning begins instantly, without coffee lines or accidentally burnt toast. Lunch breaks could become long walks, naps, lessons, or conversations. Parents regain peaceful evenings once consumed by cooking and cleaning. Students stop choosing between textbooks and increasingly unaffordable dinners. Travelers cross vast deserts without carrying heavy food supplies. Explorers could survive months in places that once killed us. Human endurance would suddenly feel almost supernatural to everyone. Then the second shock hits. Food is humanity's largest system. Billions of jobs exist because humans need food every day. Farms, supermarkets, restaurants, factories, and delivery apps would shrink. Entire careers could disappear completely within a single generation. The freedom from hunger might initially trigger widespread mass unemployment. Governments would face the largest economic transition in history. Farmers would need new crops, new markets, or new lives. Restaurants might survive as theaters for taste and social experience. A meal becomes pure entertainment, like a concert or movie. Cheap food disappears first because nobody needs basic calories. Eating could become a luxury hobby instead of daily routine. Cities would transform completely when grocery stores lose their purpose. Kitchens might become optional rooms, like home libraries today. Refrigerators, ovens, and dishwashers would become expensive household nostalgia. Apartment designers could reclaim truly enormous amounts of indoor space. Streets lose food trucks, cafes, markets, and familiar smells. Airports would stop selling sandwiches, priced like small investments. Schools no longer build cafeterias or schedule lunch periods. Hospitals eliminate meal carts, dietary plans, and feeding tubes. Prisons could no longer use food as comfort or control. Even our clocks change because meals organize entire days. For thousands of years, families have gathered together around food. Birthdays, weddings, funerals, and holidays all carry special dishes. Remove necessity, and those traditions may weaken surprisingly fast. Children might never learn their grandparents' treasured secret recipe. No soup when sick, cake when celebrating, or bread shared. Language itself would lose thousands of familiar, edible metaphors. There is no comfort food when food is purely optional. We might finally discover how much emotion we quietly swallow. Family time needs new rituals strong enough to replace dinner. Perhaps everyone gathers nightly to create, talk, or simply pause. But taste would not disappear just because hunger does. Humans would still crave sweetness, spice, crunch, and warmth. Pleasure eating could become far more common, not less. Without fullness signals, endless indulgence might become dangerously normal. Our upgraded bodies must safely process food nobody needs. Otherwise, eating only for fun could still cause disease. Scientists might invent flavor strips with no physical meal. One strip could simulate pizza, mango, or grandmother's stew. Virtual dining might become the next global entertainment industry. People could collect flavors like songs or video games. Chefs become experienced designers rather than providers of survival. Famous meals could be downloaded instantly, anywhere on Earth. A street vendor's recipe might reach billion customers. But corporations would fight to own your favorite sensations. Monthly taste subscriptions could replace grocery bills entirely worldwide. Miss a payment, and your childhood dessert becomes unavailable. Hunger disappears, yet another dependency quietly takes its place. Now consider power. Controlling food has shaped human history. Empires taxed grain, armies seized farms, rulers survived famines. Without hunger, one ancient human weapon becomes useless overnight. Sieges fail because trapped populations never run out of calories. Refugees could cross borders without food convoys or ration lines. Drought would still destroy ecosystems, but not starve humans. Humanitarian aid would focus on water, shelter, medicine, and safety. The end of starvation would be humanity's greatest victory. Yet food-producing nations could suddenly lose enormous political influence. Trade routes built around crops and livestock would collapse. New conflicts might shift toward water, energy, and technology. Human greed survives easily even when hunger does not. The environmental effects could become astonishingly positive across Earth. Agriculture currently occupies vast amounts of land and water. Much of that land could return to forests and grasslands. Wildlife corridors might finally reconnect habitats across entire continents. Fertilizer runoff, overfishing, and global food waste could collapse. Farm animals would no longer be bred by the billions. Some species might become pets, protected heritage, or disappear. Cultural attachment could preserve small farms as living museums. Others might argue keeping animals for taste is unnecessary cruelty. The planet could heal faster than any policy achieved before. But newly freed land creates another temptation: building everywhere. Without protection, farms may become highways, towers, and mines. Ending agriculture alone does not guarantee nature actually wins. Population could also grow because feeding children costs less. Cities might support far more people in smaller spaces. But housing, water, and energy would face new pressure. We solve one limit and immediately collide with others. Medicine would change almost as dramatically as global economics. Malnutrition, vitamin deficiency, and many eating disorders would transform. Doctors stop prescribing diets merely for basic biological survival. Yet eating disorders are not only about physical hunger. Control, identity, trauma, and body image would still matter. Some people might avoid food completely to feel pure. Others could chase addictive artificial flavors every waking minute. Addiction would migrate from calories toward pure sensation itself. Therapists might treat people deeply afraid of ordinary eating. Children born foodless would find our lives completely bizarre. You cooked 3 times every day just to remain alive? You stored dead plants and animals inside cold boxes? You became angry simply because your lunch arrived late? To them, hunger might sound like a daily medical emergency. To us, their foodless world might feel strangely empty. Because food is fuel, but it is also memory. It carries geography, family, history. Tonight, while you sleep, the world steals 8 hours. But what if you could take every second back? No fatigue, no beds, no need to close your eyes. You would gain roughly 30 extra years of consciousness. That sounds like a superpower, until the entire planet changes. Because sleep is not simply empty time we lose. It repairs bodies, organizes memories, and resets emotional circuits. So our thought experiment requires one enormous biological upgrade. Imagine every nighttime job now happens while we remain awake. The moment that becomes possible, midnight stops meaning bedtime. At first, your new life feels almost impossibly generous. You finish work, eat dinner, and still have another day. Learn Mandarin, master guitar, build a business, watch everything. A lifetime suddenly contains nearly 50% more waking experience. Students could practice twice as long without sacrificing their health. Scientists could continue experiments through every silent midnight hour. Artists might create entire careers before today's breakfast time. And parents would never lose evenings to pure exhaustion. Humanity's productive capacity could explode almost overnight. But here is the first twist. Time would become cheaper. If everyone gains 8 hours, employers know you gained them too. The 8-hour workday might quietly become 10, then 12. After-hours emails would disappear because nothing is truly after hours. Your superpower could become society's newest minimum requirement. The rich could buy education, entertainment, and optimized night schedules. The poor might simply receive a longer shift. Suddenly, sleep sounds less like a weakness than protection. Today, darkness creates a natural border around human ambition. Remove it, and ambition can spread across all 24 hours. Cities would be the first places to mutate. Rush hour would remain, but traffic could split into several waves. Offices might run 3 complete shifts without ever closing. Restaurants could serve breakfast at midnight and dinner at sunrise. Stadiums, schools, courts, and banks would operate continuously. A quiet neighborhood at 3 a.m. might feel prehistoric. Homes themselves would change because bedrooms become wasted real estate. Mattresses, pillows, alarms, and pajamas become historical curiosities. Hotels sell temporary rooms for privacy, not sleep. Couples must negotiate schedules instead of sharing a bedtime ritual. And children never hear, "It's late, go to bed." That sounds wonderful to children, but terrifying to parents. Schools need longer supervision or entirely new childhood routines. Without bedtime, families lose their most reliable daily reset button. There is no sleep on it after an argument. No gentle morning that makes yesterday feel farther away. We would need invented pauses to replace nature's forced interruption. Perhaps everyone receives a legally protected 8-hour offline period. Notice the irony. We might reinvent sleep without unconsciousness. Now consider memory, the hidden reason sleep matters so much. During sleep, the brain strengthens some connections and weakens others. It extracts patterns, stabilizes skills, and files emotional experiences. Our upgraded brain must perform that editing in real time. But real-time editing creates a strange question: what gets erased? A sleeping brain can review the day after inputs finally stop. A sleepless brain receives new information without a natural ending. Life becomes one unbroken stream with no chapters between days. Calendars still change, but psychologically, when does tomorrow begin? Midnight is only a number if nobody closes their eyes. Humans might schedule artificial mental resets, 4 hours of low input. Meditation could become as essential as sleep is today. Dreams would also disappear, taking an ancient mystery with them. No flying, no nightmare chases, no conversations with lost relatives. Art, religion, and invention have all borrowed from dreams. Would waking imagination compensate, or become slightly less wild? Some people would pay fortunes to experience artificial dreaming. Dream tourism might become the strangest industry on Earth. Meanwhile, energy use would surge in a permanently active civilization. Lights, transit, factories, kitchens, and screens run without pause. Today, nighttime lowers demand because billions temporarily do nothing. Remove sleep, and that enormous energy valley fills completely. Electricity production might rise by a third or much more. Carbon emissions could climb unless clean power expands even faster. Wildlife would face humans who never retreat from the night. Owls, bats, insects, and turtles depend on genuine darkness. Permanent activity could erase their last quiet half of Earth. Governments might enforce darkness zones like protected national parks. Night could become a scarce resource people travel to experience. Imagine paying for silence, darkness, and absolutely nothing happening. Yet one industry would experience an immediate revolution: medicine. Surgeons could train longer, researchers could analyze results continuously. Emergency rooms would have fully alert staff at every hour. Patients would recover without losing conscious days to sleep. But pain would feel longer without sleep's temporary escape. Grief would also become harder to interrupt. 8 unconscious hours currently shorten every difficult 24. Without it, emotional suffering occupies every available minute. Therapists may prescribe sensory rest, silence, or simulated dreams. Rest would survive even after sleep became biologically unnecessary. Crime and safety would shift in equally surprising directions. More witnesses and open businesses could make streets safer. But criminals also gain 8 more hours to plan and operate. Police stations, courts, and prisons would never truly power down. Wars could become continuous, with no exhausted armies forced to pause. The same upgrade that saves time could intensify human conflict. Even travel would change more than you might expect. Jet lag largely disappears if sleep cycles no longer exist. A flight at 3 a.m. feels no worse than noon. Airports become true non-stop cities rather than overnight waiting rooms. Humanity spreads activity evenly across every longitude and hour, but global coordination may become even more demanding. If someone is always available, everyone expects instant answers. The phrase "I was asleep" no longer protects your silence. Privacy would require deliberate boundaries, laws, and social courage. Our greatest challenge would not be filling the extra time. It would be defending that time from everyone else. And eventually, people born sleepless would find us completely bizarre. You became unconscious every night on purpose, they would ask. You lay motionless for 1/3 of your entire existence? To them, beds might look like soft rectangular time machines. To us, their endless awareness might look exhausting anyway. Because needing sleep and needing rest are not identical. A machine can run forever and still lack a purpose. Extra hours do not automatically create a better life. They only create more space for our choices to matter. We might cure fatigue, yet struggle to stop working. We might conquer night, yet accidentally destroy darkness. We might gain 30 years, then give them to notifications. So here is the real question, not whether you want the power. What would you protect your extra 8 hours for? Choose carefully, and tell us before the sleepless world begins.